Ken, well, I guess we're gonna
Has
start,
it?
I'll have to ask you after a bit. I was gonna ask you about that racetrack, what you've heard about it.
Okay.
I went to the planning commission meeting, they had to renew their
Almost okay.
conditional use permit.
Okay.
There were half a dozen folks that were not the same
thank
ones,
Sure. We're used to that.
yeah,
Are we not?
but they approved it,
They approved it?
they approved it.
So we're just gonna endorse their approval?
They're just asking to go to the gaming commission so that the gaming.
Oh, they just want a
That's who's-
recommendation?
That's who he's dealing with right now.
We won't make any approval, we're just doing a recommendation.
No, it's not for us to
Take the
approve
elevator.
anyway.
It is, what's it for here then?
No, they're just asking for a letter of
Letter of
recommendation.
support,
Well, that's what I say, a recommendation, so yeah.
letter of support.
I got
Mark,
Yeah,
you got your phone off?
I do, from
Okay.
the last meeting.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Meeting will come to order. For public information, a copy of Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of this meeting room on the east wall for anyone that might need to see that. I will mention tonight that our digital voting machine is not working, and so we'll be doing roll call votes the old-fashioned way, so just be aware of that. So we'll have roll call.
Harris,
Here.
Reisig,
Here,
Meyer,
Here.
Blue,
Here.
Parsley.
Here.
All right, and so while we're at it, we want to welcome Matt Parsley, our new commissioner from the, I think it's District 3, the Gearing District, that was appointed just here within the last few days. And so anyway, he's here, and we appreciate you being here, and want to welcome him and look forward to working with you.
Thanks.
All right.
Pledge.
The next thing is the Pledge of Allegiance, if all would stand for that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the next item is to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any other discussion? Hearing none, you can call the roll.
Blue,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Reisig.
yes.
All right, the next item that's always mentioned on the agenda here is the board reserves the right to enter into closed session if deemed necessary. This is specifically talking about, if we come across something as we go through the agenda. This agenda does have 2 or 3 closed sessions or executive sessions at the end of the evening, so be sure you're aware of that. But this designates that if something else comes up and we need to go into closed session, we reserve the right to do that. The next item is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is intended for these items to be adopted by one action unless one of the commissioners feels something should be pulled out separately. And I'd ask if there's anything that needs to be pulled out.
I'd move for
Steve, do I
approval.
have something on here? Okay.
I'd move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Call the roll.
Meyer,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Reisig.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is Board of Equalization. Do we have we need to go into the Board of
I
Equalization.
move into Board of Equalization.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to move into Board of Equalization. Call the roll.
Meyer,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Reisig.
Yes.
All right, the first and only item is receive the tax list corrections.
I would move for approval.
I'll second.
Alright, we have the list in our packet. So we have a motion to, receive the tax list corrections and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, you can call the roll.
Meyer,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes. We need a motion to go out of the Board of Equalization.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to go out of Board of Equalization, and call the roll.
Meyer,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Okay. The next item is discuss and consider, recommendation of Community Action Partnership of Western Nebraska for the appointment of Donald Graham to the Kaplan Board of Directors.
we had a letter, but, Capri indicated you might be able to speak to this.
Oh, and there's
I
Monette
haven't
too.
talked to that. Gee, this lady right here could do it though. You did
Yeah.
perfect again.
Monette, we're talking about Mr. Graham.
Yeah, I'm Monette Luke's Kaplan, Board President. We have an application in that we submitted for Donald Graham. He's a local pharmacist. The Scotts Bluff County has two representatives. One is your elected official, which is Russ, and the other is an individual from within the community. And Linda Gonzalez served as our representative for 8 years for Scotts Bluff County. She recently stepped off the board. We reached out to a number of individuals who might be interested, also kind of promoted, I guess, on our social media and things too. And Donald Graham has indicated that he would be interested. Linda was a pharmacist, Donald's a pharmacist. He's worked at a variety of pharmacies in the area, so it's kind of a like nomination.
He came in with 2 meetings back and spoke, wasn't it? Did he come in and talk to you?
I don't, he might have talked to Betsy or one of the others. I didn't get to talk to him when he would have come probably.
I thought he talked to us at a meeting.
Yeah,
Can't remember.
no, I don't remember him, but,
I remember.
but I have, yeah, but like I said, I've gone through the application and all of that, and he's pretty familiar with the area. A pharmacist is really important for us because we offer the 340B program, which is a program that helps pay for people's prescriptions.
Well, I've known Mr. Graham for a lot of years, and he has an extensive background in pharmacy experience and supervising pharmacies, and he's also helped many years with the Medicare program to help advise people when they get ready to select their options in Medicare.
Yeah,
So-
that's great,
He-
yeah.
He was one we talked about at the last meeting. He was,
Yes.
he was a Walgreens pharmacist. He was
Yes.
an older gentleman that was there.
He was also head
really
of the
nice
pharmacy
guy.
at the hospital for.
Yeah,
years,
right now he's
back
at
in the
Safeway,
70s.
but he's been at Walgreens, he's been at Regional West.
Really good.
I don't remember Walmart being on there, but he's been at a number of pharmacies in the area
Walgreens,
for
I
long
believe.
periods of time.
Well, I
So-
think,
Great addition.
he's
Yeah.
a great choice.
Yep, our board is a mix of health professionals, community officials, elected officials, so.
I would move for approval of Don Graham to the board.
I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve Don Graham to the Kaplan, board. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, you can call the roll.
Meyer,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Okay, the next item is discuss and consider chairman's signature on letter of support to the city of Gearing for racetrack and casino. The board, so I just, am aware that, the city of Gearing had, asked us to consider this letter of support, for the casino and racetrack. And, so that's what this letter would do. I'd be happy to read the letter. It says, Dear Chairman Lee and Racing and Gaming Commission members, I would like to submit this letter of support on behalf of Scotts Bluff County Commissioners regarding the approval of a racetrack and casino in Gearing. We believe the development of a racetrack would greatly enhance our area by providing a draw to the unique sport of horse racing. The casino itself would provide a new and exciting entertainment value to our area. A racino would also bring substantial economic growth for all of the surrounding communities. Western Nebraska is a remarkable destination for historical landmarks and museums, as well as a place for outdoor activities, including numerous golf courses, concerts, agricultural events, and recreation. Adding a racetrack and casino would only make the Panhandle more enticing for tourism and local residents. We are hopeful you will consider approving a racetrack in the Gearing area and appreciate your time and consideration of this application. Sincerely, Mark Harris, Chairman of Scottsbluff County Board of Commissioners. So that's the letter that they're asking us to support this evening, and I certainly would open the floor this evening to any discussion. If anyone wanted to speak on this matter.
Just as a point of clarification, it doesn't need our approval because it's in the city of Gearing. They're just asking for a letter just to support it.
Okay. Let the record show there was no other discussion. Any discussion from the commissioners?
I believe so.
Okay.
I would move for approval of the chairman's signature on the letter.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Meyer,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Yes.
Harris.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is, discuss and consider commissioner appointments for Commissioner Parsley to various boards and committees. I spoke with Matt earlier this evening, and obviously Charlie was on several of the committees, and I suggested that possibly he consider taking each one of those committee assignments with the exception of one. And we're really talking only for a period of 2 months. At the end of 2 months, we're gonna fall back and regroup for everybody.
Sure.
And so I think it would be something fairly short. The only one I thought we should change at this point is the regional governance group. Charlie was on that because he was vice president, and I think that one we should change and put you on there, Russ, cause you're vice president.
Governance?
What,
What's that?
As-
He was the
as-
alternate.
As the alternate.
Alternate.
Okay.
so who's the alternate?
Charlie was,
Okay.
we would say you are now.
Okay,
I'm
who- you're-
normally the
Okay.
chairman is the
Okay.
primary, and the alternate is normally the vice president.
Okay, that's fine.
Vice chair?
Vice
You're
chair,
calling it vice
yeah.
president. What organization are you talking about?
Start calling me Kamala.
So other than
Don't
that
start
one,
now, don't
I thought
start.
maybe, Matt would, could possibly stay on these, and then in 2 months, we'll all be reorganizing anyway. And, in the same motion, would we also be including the items on the back, which is the appointed officials that he would be the liaison for?
Just put him in the blank spots.
All the ones that are blank is what Charlie did, I think.
What that meant
Correct.
is he's the information system and tourism director, I think.
Right.
too.
Yeah,
Oh, 'cause we-
tourism.
And actually, Bites is a contracted company that we work with.
Right.
There isn't really much of a direct supervision with that one.
So really, same story, that it would only be for 2 months, And, then in January, we'd be reassessing all of these positions, so. That was the recommendation I was suggesting to Matt,
I think that's fine.
okay? Any other discussion? that?
Is
So-
Twin Cities Director, or Twin Cities Development part of it? Cause they're having their annual meeting.
Their annual meeting,
The November 17th, you better sign up tomorrow.
yeah.
I think today was
You
the
would
last
wanna
day.
sign up for that.
If you wanna go. I can't remember where it's at. We'll find out.
For some reason, I think the
Somebody
Civic
said?
Center. I think the
Gearing Civic Center this year?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
So November 17th at Gearing Civic Center. Okay.
Yeah, like I
What
said,
time?
call him first thing tomorrow if you can, 'cause they were wanting. Matt, I'm sorry, Kelly, what'd you say?
I think that's another ex officio.
Yeah, and let them know that you're the
And-
newly appointed,
If I could interrupt for a
Yeah.
second. Here's a phone number for them from the letter that they sent us today. Can you write that down?
Thank you.
all right. So hearing no other discussion, is there a motion?
I move that Matt Parsley assume the committees and boards that the previous commissioner occupied, with the exception as being the alternate for a regional governance group, be assigned to Commissioner Reisig.
And that includes the liaisons on the
Right.
back.
Right, including the liaisons.
Okay. So that's the motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, for Matt to assume these positions except for regional governance group and be the liaison for those three, positions on the back page.
And I'll try and get those updated and sent to you tomorrow.
Okay, good, I like to keep one up here.
Okay.
All right, so, based upon that, call the roll?
Blue,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes,
Parsley,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes. Okay. All right, the next item is to discuss and consider insurance proposal presented by Alliant Insurance Services. Lisa, are you gonna cover that? Or do you want?
Is there anything to cover? You sat through the presentation, so now you
Right.
get a.
Well, I think just for the people that are here that weren't here, so we had a 2 o'clock meeting today, and we had a presentation by Ian
Ian Shada.
from the Alliant Insurance Services. And they have been talking with our insurance committee for several meetings. And the insurance committee was, some of the members were here today to hear kind of the final proposals, plus they're recommending all, how do I pronounce it? All
Aplos.
Aplos.
The Aplos
Aplo.
design.
Aplos to be a
Third-party.
third-party administrator, and the company that we would go with, which back in budget time, we talked about doing something different. And this process would effectively end our ties with RCI and then go with this particular company,
we're going with Alliant Insurance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alliant,
Services?
yeah.
Yes.
So that would be the proposal, and again, we were presented all the detailed information this afternoon, and still getting recommendations from the insurance committee, and I thought other staff here today.
I would like somebody from that committee to make a formal, statement on that before we vote. So we have a,
Besides me?
I think we got a guy right there.
You want Steve to do it, I think.
Okay.
What do you
Steve,
think
come
of
on
that?
up, you're on the insurance committee, you can say how the
Tell
process
us
went.
what you think about the whole thing.
Yeah, we met several times with Alliant Insurance, mostly by Zoom, probably 4 times, I bet, anyway.
Yeah, yes.
It was pretty well, I think, I'll call it a unanimous decision of the insurance committee to make the switch from RCI to Alliant. So, on behalf, I guess, of the insurance committee, we would recommend the change of switching to Alliance Insurance instead of the RCI.
Okay, appreciate it. I think it's important to note that Ken sits in on that insurance committee as well,
Yes, Ken,
right,
Lisa, and I don't think anybody else.
Nancy
It's good to hear
Leach.
from the staff,
So-
I think, to know
Right.
where they're at on
Mark
that.
Overman sits
It's
on
very
it,
important to
Nancy
me.
Leach. I think
That's it.
That's it. So,
All right,
Thank you, Steve.
With that, I would make a motion to move over to Alliant Insurance Service.
Second.
okay. Any other discussion?
You can have discussion right now if you want to, Matt, if you got
No,
something you
I'm
want to say.
good with it. I'm
All
good
right.
with
Okay,
it.
I had kind of looked there, and I wasn't sure that you were okay.
All right, so hearing no discussion, further discussion, we'll call the roll.
Reisig,
Yes,
Meyer,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes,
Blue,
Yes,
Parsley.
Yes.
all right, motion's carried. Okay, the next item is discuss and consider updated Scotts Bluff County purchase cardholder agreement.
Okay.
Now Lisa's gonna.
Personnel Committee met Thursday evening to discuss some of the updates that we need to make to, well, we thought to our personnel manual based on our recent audit with the Auditor of Public Accounts. We, what do you call it? We postponed actually going through all those policies right now because there was a question brought forward of whether the personnel manual actually covered the employees that would be affected by those changes, okay? And it's something that was directed to me to get with either Jason or someone to get a second opinion. So, but we did move forward with discussing the purchase card holder agreement document. I wanna pull it up, sorry, I didn't have it up yet. What this form is when a person, when someone requests a card and I give them a card, we should have them complete this agreement, read through and complete and sign. I have a whole list of them, whole stack of them from through the years that I've had people sign. This is just, but we're gonna go through the process again with this new updated agreement and have everybody re-sign that they understand how the card is to be used and what we expect of them when using the card.
when you're done.
Okay, and I would read through it, and anyway, like I said, we talked about it in personnel board, this is what we've come up with, and we wanna bring it forward to you all, and if you approve it, I can start sending it out to anybody holding a card or anybody who would be using a card to get new updated signatures, so.
With what you've got there, you know, generally when you do a contract or you do a loan or any kind of, when you're dealing with financial things, I would like to see a spot wherever you specify what you require, I'd like to see those lines initialed and then a signature at the bottom. But anything that you specify that you want for the protection of the county, I want that line item initialed, so they can't say, oh, I didn't read that. If their initials on it, they read it.
Okay. As I read through it, can you say, this is where I would suggest one be?
Well, I wouldn't need to, cause you know what to do, you're pretty
Well, I was
bright
going
lady,
to read it.
but
I was just
I'll
gonna-
work with you, but you're.
Okay, oh, sure, that's fine, I just was gonna make sure that you and I agree. So, here's how the purchase card holder agreement would read. As an authorized user of a Scotts Bluff County purchasing card, I understand that I am authorized to make a purchase with this card. I understand and do hereby agree that any purchases made shall only be in connection with my employment and shall be in accordance with the Scotts Bluff County purchasing card policy. So that would be
I don't like that.
what?
I don't like that part, it'll only be used with my employment, it should be only would be bought purchases for the county only.
With my employment and shall. Did I say it right? I understand, do hereby agree that any purchases made shall be in connection with my employment.
That's not, that didn't interest me.
Well-
It should be made to where the purchase would be made for the county, for the benefit of the county.
Well-
How you wanna do it, but not
Uh,
for my employment, that doesn't tell you anything.
Connection with my employment.
No.
Employment with Scotts Bluff County.
Employment with?
Well, okay, so I would only say, I'm not sure that this I don't know whether the first version was, or the final version was, ran past Mr. Jason.
Oh, well, we changed it so very little.
And then we
didn't
changed it, yeah,
With a little bit.
at the meeting, it
Uh-huh.
got changed a little bit at the personnel meeting.
So you
And
want
I
me to stop?
guess-
Move on.
I guess the question is,
All
in
purchases,
just a minute, we're gonna ask Jason what his thoughts are here. And,
but all purchase should, at that line, it should say all purchase become property of Scotts Bluff County.
But, I mean, if you're going on a business trip to Kearney and buy,
yeah,
and your
hotel room.
motel room,
I understand that
Yeah,
as well,
that's
but
not
that could
a
be a whole nother
asset.
line. Purchase, but if we're purchasing, renting rooms are not purchases.
Well, I suggest we let Lisa finish reading it, and then we can, check
oh,
with
okay,
Jason.
that's what I stopped when I thought, is that a line where you'd want an initial, but then you went, okay, no worries. I understand that no sales tax should be paid on any purchases made with the county purchasing card. If sales tax is paid, I understand I am responsible for reimbursement of the sales tax to Scottsbluff County, exceptions only to out-of-state purchases. Furthermore, if a receipt for a purchasing card purchase is not itemized or lost and cannot be turned into the county management accountant and county clerk, I understand that I will be required to reimburse Scottsbluff County for the purchase and be subject to disciplinary action. I understand that the following items constitute misuse of the Scottsbluff County purchasing card and that any misuse will result in revocation of my privilege to use the card. And bullet point number 1, using the card for personal purchases of unauthorized items, use of the card by someone other than myself without permission, fraudulent or inaccurate record keeping, copying or documenting the purchase card to make future purchases. Upon separation or termination, the authorized user of the county purchasing card must return the card to the Scottsbluff County Management Accountant, where it will be verified that the card was returned and sign the bottom of the cardholder agreement stating he or she has not and will not record the purchasing card number to make further purchases on the card. If the Scottsbluff County purchasing card is used for personal purchases for unauthorized items or by someone other than myself without permission, I do hereby agree to Scottsbluff County. I do hereby agree to reimburse Scottsbluff County or directly pay the vendor for such purchases. Further, I do hereby authorize Scottsbluff County to withhold from my paycheck any amounts necessary to pay these charges. And note, in addition to the above consequences for misuse of the purchasing card, Scottsbluff County retains the right to take further actions, whether in the form of disciplinary action, termination of employment, and or legal prosecution in the event of gross misuse or fraud involving county funds.
Lisa, I know that's not that wouldn't be an issue with this one, but normally if somebody had access to that card, they were using that card, department head, whatever, and they left employment, would we not get a different card with a different number on it? Okay, so that'll stop some of the things
Yes,
we're
cause
talking about.
sometimes you have recurring charges
Yeah,
happening with the
exactly.
previous director, and so yes, we stop it, and if
But
we feel the
that
need,
will
we
stop
have to.
From writing down the number on the card and then using it after.
I can,
With a phone
I know we
call.
did that recently, I can't tell you we've done that every time, but it come to light, it is
Yeah.
necessary to stop and start it. Or start up and get a different card number. So,
Jason, are you seeing any concern about this?
No, there's a number of counties in the eastern part of the state that went through a similar circumstance with the state auditor's office. And this was kind of a form that was created. I know that Dodge County used this. They have some differences in terms of to whom they report if they didn't have a management accountant, for example, but this has become a fairly standard form. Now, saying that, as Mr. Reisig had pointed out, I don't have any issue with if, as some of these will have, that, to demonstrate that I am knowingly and intelligently signing this form, I hereby place my initials next to each sentence or paragraph
Significant.
herein, and we could, put something off to the margin to show that.
verifies that you read that, and if you initialed it, you should have read that.
Sure.
If you signed it, you should have read it,
Huh?
but that's
it.
just a secondary
Right.
line of defense.
And I don't
Because
think
it's a
there's any
secondary,
issue
it's a
with
backup,
that.
is what
Right.
you have there, yeah, exactly. That's what I see anyway.
But I think going to some of the questions that were posed to Lisa at the beginning, I mean, I think the idea was to try to have a one-size-fits-all that accounts for folks on the road and people, you know, at conferences, all the way to somebody going over to a local store, that they're only purchasing authorized items and that any unauthorized purchases are gonna be dealt with as set out herein and in the specific policy that's attached to this. And there is a specific policy in the manual now, but that is what Lisa's talking about is gonna be updated. And
This, yeah, it'd be updated with this one.
then- Yes.
I think the issue of initialing in 2 or 3 or 4 spots, I don't think that changes it enough, does it, Gene, for us to have to go back to the personnel committee?
I don't think so.
I don't either. If it's just add a couple places for them to initial, I think that's
And
fine.
I guess if you two will figure out where those places need to be, I'd be a lot happier than if I. Be fine.
Okay,
Sure you'll do the right things.
so Robert's got a question.
Good.
Just a quick one. So I just wanted to point out, and I'm sure everybody's aware of it, but for like the officials that do travel, it's really easy for us to get zero tax on like hotel rooms and things that we, through our vendors that we order, because we have accounts set up with them. The one thing that's very difficult is that if you are in another town for work, that you buy lunch, that the restaurants are not going to take off that tax. So I just want to make sure that the board is aware of that, so we either need to allow for that it's gonna happen, or put something, be very specific with regard to meals. That's where it's gonna happen,
And
I
it's
think.
even locally.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Alright, yeah, they're not gonna do that,
right, that's all I wanted to add.
yeah.
With the
What-
exception meals. Good point, yes.
What's your thought on that, Lisa?
Exactly, I'm not sure. I'm not aware that you can get meals exempted. That's not been a concern, so.
When I was
guess
on
we
the
can
school
address
board,
that.
if you would go out of town with the superintendent, if there was tax, you paid the tax. If you had an alcoholic beverage, you paid for that. The school didn't pay for any of that, so.
Yeah,
Right.
alcoholic beverages, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
And that,
Put a
I don't
meals
know
in
that wouldn't be a good place to put that right on there with this credit card thing.
okay, we can add that statement. Cause that's on another policy that we're going to be
Is on
bringing
another
forward.
policy?
Yeah, and that's what I brought up. We have
Okay.
like 3 or 4 other ones that we need to get past, but the question got brought up whether the personnel board was the right group to approve it. It might just come in front of all of you.
Mhm.
I gotta talk to Jason about that, and that hasn't happened yet, so.
Mitch is back there with his hand up, so we'll let him.
Mitch Wagers, MITCHWAGERS. This is a really interesting thing that you ventured into here for this purchase, the card purchasing. So I have a couple questions, and it is really related to helping this whole thing go forward. So first, are there any credit cards that are used by county people
43
that are actual credit cards?
Yeah.
They're purchase cards.
purchase cards.
We're under a purchasing group policy.
Okay, so when they're processed, are they run as credit cards or debit cards?
And I believe they're credit cards.
Okay. So how does as a merchant myself, right, when I accept credit cards, I get imposed a 3% fee for processing that transaction. How does the county, and this is purely a question, please don't jump, but how does the county justify that, in my case, the 3% fee?
The
Is it
same,
just convenience thing? Is it, you know?
the same way any other customer of yours does.
An
You,
unavoidable fee.
you offer to sell it, and all kinds of vendors add a 3% surcharge or 4%
processor.
surcharge, processing
yeah.
fee. People do it all the time,
Right, but the
so that's
county,
up to you.
the county could choose to pay it differently, right? They don't have to choose to pay it with a credit card.
Correct.
We could, but the minute you use a debit card, it comes right out of your account immediately.
Right.
This way we have 30-day grace, and I think 3% right now with money, isn't asking a lot if we have to pay a 3%.
Yeah, it's not, I'm not
It's a wash
complaining.
as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not complaining, I'm just simply asking the question.
I think
Alright,
it's a wash.
well,
believe
I
in
don't
debit
think it
card.
imposes something totally unusable or undue, problem for you. You accept it with everybody else, or you don't. Or you
Yeah, it's
add
not a problem
surcharge.
for me.
And so,
It
All
wasn't
right.
brought up on that.
I don't think I'm explaining that it's a problem for me. I don't get any money out of it.
I'm understanding.
I
I
know.
lose the 3%, so
know.
it's irrelevant to me.
Heather, let her address.
Kurt just kind of said it really well back there. You know, we direct bill and invoice when we can. We are not always able to do that, so there are a lot of instances where we do end up having to use our purchase cards. For the most part, we don't have to pay those fees, but every once in a while there is a fee. And, you know, it's kind of like sales, we get out of paying what we can, but we can't always get out of paying a fee. Does that
Just
make
like
sense?
any other individual.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So that answers that question, and I appreciate that. So the second thing is, I think it might be important, in my opinion, to look at some tax situations and some surcharge situations. So if there is a possibility that a purchase card is run as a debit card, so in my particular case, and this is with a lot of vendors, they don't get to choose whether they run a card as a credit card or a debit card. Their terminal decides that for them, right? So it will come back and say, hey, there's a whatever fee, which might be 3%, might not be 3%, but there's a fee to process this transaction. Do you agree or not agree? And of course, in my practice, I say, hey, customer, do you agree to this fee or do you not agree to that fee? I am in no way aware of whether it's a credit transaction or a debit transaction before that happens, okay? So I'm just prefacing my next thing with that. I don't think that in the situation that a customer, in this case the county, is charged a surcharge for a card, and I'm not talking about a credit card processing fee, I'm talking about a surcharge. I don't believe that an employee that uses a purchase card that is then charged a surcharge from the merchant provider, who I use, should be punished because of that. And I have particular instances where I have been punished as a merchant because my system that I pay for, that should know better, has charged the customer a surcharge for a debit transaction, okay? So the county employee would come to the business, they would charge something, let's say $45. My terminal says, hey, there's a $1.37 fee to run this transaction. Are you following me so far? I say, do you agree to that $1.37? Okay. The county employee, whoever that might be, says, well, sure, because they probably assume it's a 3% charge for running as a credit card. But in reality, it's not. And then the merchant gets fined thousands of dollars, in my particular case, and that employee then goes back. And under this agreement, I would think the employee would get in trouble because the transaction should have been run as a debit card with no surcharge whatsoever, but they were charged a surcharge. So then it's over and above the actual dollar amount of the purchase. Does that make any sense?
I don't think an employee has any control over that surcharge.
Doesn't make a
from what
bit of
I would
sense to
have.
me, but
If you're
go
gonna
ahead.
charge a
And-
surcharge, I can stop that.
I don't get to choose to charge a
The only
surcharge.
thing I can do is say, no, I don't wanna
You,
do
you,
business here and I'll
you,
move on.
respectfully, I think you missed the point. I'm saying an employee should not be punished in that
We're not
particular
punishing.
case.
When did we say we're punishing anyone?
We
Nobody's
could.
punished for a surcharge?
I mean, that's what he's bringing up,
We're
but
not
nothing
punishing
says
anyone
we
for a
won't.
surcharge.
So, let me do this. Jean, are you wanting to address this
Yes,
specific question?
Yes.
All right.
So there are no cards that are run as a debit because they're not tied to any account.
They're credit.
It's always a credit, always. If there's a surcharge on there, maybe sometimes in that, I think it's just something that we have to pay. I think most of the cards that are used when we're traveling. So that's a different situation than around town.
You know,
We're not doing monthly purchases on a
No.
daily county.
No.
no, and
they're-
okay, so you're saying they charge purchase or charge a charge if it's a debit
Yeah.
rather than a credit? just
I'm not
typically?
saying it's right, I'm
I'm
saying
not,
that
I'm
it
not
does
asking if
happen.
right or wrong, but is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it does happen.
Okay, I mean, if you looked at the example that was in that auditor letter that I was specifically named, we had 2 gift cards we bought for that employee appreciation dinner. They were both $50 cards, but one I got charged 52. So I guess that is an additional fee, and it was because of the credit card fee, and it's, but,
Sometimes with those credit cards,
You
you
don't know.
pay like an activation fee with that, so it wouldn't matter if you paid cash for it, you'd still have to pay that activation fee.
yeah, is it
I
activation,
bought
but it was
several of
just,
them. My point being, none are debits, ever, so.
None,
you're
right,
right.
none are debit, they're charge, and it really doesn't matter whether it's the county using our charge card or a customer of yours using their charge card. Whatever the treatment is at your store is gonna be the same. And I don't see how in the world that any of that makes a difference
But
in
he's-
this agreement.
yeah.
We're not charging any employee for any of that, we're not
Right.
knocking anyone.
If
So
there's
is
a,
that
Well,
something we need to
it'd be,
put in there?
What?
Is that something we need to address?
You want us to
Tax
address
exemption on meals or credit card fees are the only exceptions.
yeah, I think I'm trying to clarify a
You
point,
don't know what
Russ.
those are gonna be until after you've eaten the meal or whatever you've done. I mean, there's no way you'll know until you walk up to that cash register after the damage is done.
No, in this particular case, you wouldn't even know until you actually get the receipt from the
Right.
terminal.
Well, there's no need, how are you gonna brace yourself for it?
I'd say unless you just say those
I-
fees
I-
are an exception.
I think we're not talking about the same thing, so I think you'd have to be more familiar with the actual card processing system. I'm trying to express that I don't think an employee should be punished or whatever you wanna call it because it was an unauthorized
Don't believe we are.
dollar amount. Like when they use a credit card, they know it's gonna cost them whatever the credit card processing fee is.
Yeah, and when,
It's a
and
good
when,
point.
But
and
when
when the
it's
bill,
not,
and when the bill comes, it shows it. Just, like in Lisa's case, there was one for 50 and one for $52, which was the card fee.
no, I don't think we're,
let
I
me just say,
appreciate
I
it, but
am
don't.
familiar with credit card processing, credit card fees. My system allows us to run it as a debit or a credit. And we can ask the customer how they want it ran.
Your system allows that.
Yeah, my system allows that.
Not everybody's system
Well,
does.
it may not. I don't
So-
know that, okay? But when we get this credit card for our employees, we're not trying to figure out every merchant out there and how their process works. But if there's a fee that is added on, particularly, what I see normally is they add that fee to the merchant, and, then the merchant ends up paying for it. Now, I'll be the first to admit, especially in contracts that we have, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, we add 4%. Okay, we add, if I'm running a card for 15,000, we put an additional $600 on it. Okay, and we run it for 15,600. Okay, and if that was the agreement to purchase whatever, then we, whoever our employees are, would and should have known that up front, and it would have been part of the purchase price when they negotiated a purchase price in that particular situation. $45 purchases, $100 purchases in my office simply get ran through. And we don't think about whether it's 1%, 2%,
this
or
is
3%,
not
doesn't
reprimanding any
matter.
of
card company charge you for that.
Yeah,
They charge, so you either lose,
have to charge the customer.
you gotta lose that 600 or you gotta collect it.
generally speaking, the fees are charged to the merchant.
Let me put it this, Mark, just understand, I'm trying to help. I'm not here trying to get something done that doesn't make any sense. I think if I were to put this in a different way, if the county was the one that did the purchase with my business for $45 in this particular situation that I'm actually talking about, if the county was the one that did that purchase, whether it was through Lisa coming into my shop with a county card or whatever, at the end of this process, the county would be named in a lawsuit. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get across. Because in this particular case, a surcharge is not allowed on my system, but my system charged a surcharge. So then I'm going to call the county as either a witness in a lawsuit. And I'm just trying to help you all maybe avoid that by understanding there are some really nitty-gritty details when you come down to card processing. Your system doesn't work like mine. So that's what I'm trying to get at, just offering help.
But if I came in and made a purchase and I was gonna use my credit card, you know, I'm assuming anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, you know that you're going to get charged 3% or whatever it is, so it would be charged to my purchase, correct?
In this case, the fee was charged to your card.
Right, but I'm talking about your business, cause you said yours is different what Mark's is.
The way he processes cards is
Okay.
different.
Okay,
I don't get to choose debit or credit. Like Mark said, he can choose to run it as a debit or a credit.
well, I
right?
can tell you,
I don't get to choose that.
when I paid my house taxes, I used a card. And I had to pay a fee.
extra.
Yeah, there was a fee on it.
But the processor charges a fee.
Yeah, that's not anything that county gets, but we have to pay it.
Right,
We
but
have to pay that fee.
but in my case, I got fined, and
Really.
I'm gonna turn right around and sue. I'm not gonna sue the county, but I'm gonna call the county as a witness. And this is hypothetical, but I am talking about a real transaction. It just doesn't involve the county.
So Mitch, can I, just for clarification, why would you get sued and I don't understand what it.
No, I'm not getting sued. I got fined.
Okay, but why? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I can show you the transactions and I can put you in touch with the processing merchants, but that's the best I can do. They won't tell you any more than they'll tell me, probably less, because you're not the merchant.
Overrode the fees or?
Nope.
Oh,
Didn't do anything of the sort.
We had to pay a fee.
Let me ask you, Jason, this stuff that he's talking about, are you concerned about any of that with this form?
No.
Okay.
The purchasing card program is set out in state statute, so that's 13-610 that authorizes the county to use these cards under this purchasing card act. And I don't, at this point, I mean, there isn't anything in this that would indicate that if we get charged the processing fee, that somehow we're gonna hold the employee responsible for it. We would not.
Right.
Can I ask one question? Lisa, out of 40 credit cards, have we ever paid a penalty or a fine?
Yes.
We have. We paid fine?
Late fees?
No, fine. He said he was fine.
No.
I'm a merchant. It's entirely different. The county's not a merchant.
I'm just saying, of using our cards, so we've never had a fine. So what are you trying to protect us from?
From the employee being in trouble for getting a
We're not,
charge.
there's nothing on there that says it would.
Or simply putting something in there so you're not named as a witness in a lawsuit. I mean, makes,
I don't know if this is the right place.
if you're not interested, you're not interested. Again, I'm just trying to help, but
I don't know if this is the right place for our attorney. Necessary.
Mark, are you entertaining a motion, approval of?
Well,
the agreement?
I think our discussion here is over. I don't have any further questions. I think Jason's answered my question for me.
all right, thank you for your time.
Thanks. Okay, go ahead. If you-
I would move to approve the purchase card agreement with Mr. Russ's recommendations for initialing verification as Lisa deems pertinent.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve it with those, changes by Lisa. Call the roll.
Parsley,
Yes?
Reisig,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes,
Meyer.
Yes.
Okay, next item is discuss and consider county cash reserves and debt payment contingency planning in the event of a federal government shutdown impacts federal payments to Scotts Bluff County. Lisa?
I had Kelly put this back on the agenda as the situation has not changed, and I wanna just, reaffirmation from the commissioners that we are still in a, let's hold on to our cash, keep your expenses low, let's hold off on our hiring. We have another reason to hold off hiring for a month anyway, is if we bring somebody on this month, we put them on insurance regional care December 1, and then they change to the new one. So if we can wait a few weeks, just putting that out there. But anyway, the bigger, more pertinent problem is the fact with our cash flow and federal government shutdown right now still is lingering on, so we are still gonna be in a pinch for money. Correct, treasurer?
And so
I
is
just-
everyone else in the world right now, I
Yeah.
think, so.
Just the federal funds are shut down, so we are concerned about any
Cash
big
flow.
expenses. We have one right now, but we have to pay for our 42nd Street project. So that's what's
Has
on there
anybody
this
called
week.
Simons and asked them if they could give us a little bit of a break there, if we could, Steve, have you talked to anybody at Simons if we could hold the payment just a little bit?
No, that was in this claim on here, so,
Oh, you
We
got
just
this
approved
claim?
it.
not Simon's, no, since we already had it.
I could've done that, I know those guys really well.
Well,
I mean, we're fine to make the next claim run tomorrow.
I can't hear you.
I said we're fine to make the next claim run, which is tomorrow. And then, I also sent out my second notices for taxes early to try and generate some income, and actually over the weekend, we did get quite a bit online, and
We did,
so we did have to pay some extra postage right now, but, I think overall, we're gonna try
You're
and
in
get
good
some of
shape
that
right
stuff in. We're gonna try and get some of that stuff in earlier at this point, so hopefully it'll help.
so we'll be good till probably the 1st of December, cause you will make,
Yeah, and Robert is getting ready to work on, rolling taxes over to my side of the office so we can get tax statements ready to go out, so that they'll be able to go out the 1st of December. But it's just, basically, our biggest shut off right now is that we haven't gotten any US Marshal money, for about the last,
For the jail.
yeah, for the jail for about,
What about, transportation, are we? how are we doing there?
transportation,
doing
what,
on that?
did we just get we just got August. Yeah, and he has to wait until the beginning of October to even submit.
And they're froze up, so all those go in
Well,
and
and
just
that
kinda
stuff
set.
comes from, that money comes from the state, because the
does.
state already has it.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's through the state.
so
Right.
it's
Yeah, that's
the
good
US
news.
Marshal money right now is the
great.
biggest one that we're missing. We've continued to get most of our grant money, but it's just that we're in the time of year anyways where collections, we've collected
Well-
most of the 2024 taxes, which is a good thing. We still have more to collect.
We just switched
but-
budgets and all those
And
wheels were turning, and
we're
there's a
doing
lot
all
to
of
do
those
there.
things. It's just, it's not necessarily a cash flow issue, it's just kind of a timing issue, per se. We understand that right now, we're gonna have to probably carry the detention center, and it'll probably take a while to come back from that, but, that's our biggest one right now.
I see.
So, most of the
Once that-
time we get our taxes in, and I don't know if we send out taxes in December, and December goes up and down as far as collections go, because a lot of times people pay taxes before the end of December for their income taxes so they can get a break, but
On their rentals, but their house doesn't do
yeah,
very good, so.
but there are some years where you get a bigger tax break when you come in and pay them in December than you do if you wait until April. It kind of depends on how
Do we
income
adjust
tax
that
laws
according
are.
to what our finances
Right,
are? Okay,
absolutely.
Cool.
And then, depending on the end of December, people write their checks, and so sometimes in January we have a little bit of carryover. We start getting homestead payments in February, and that kind of helps ease the pain and ease transitions, and we get tax credits. But those kinds of things we don't get this time of year, and so things are slow. And then come April, we get a big chunk of our taxes because there are a lot of people that pay everything in full in April. So even though we have a big tax collection in August, it's not as much as April is, because there's a lot of people that pay so that they don't forget to pay in August.
That's me on my little house.
Yeah, and that's how,
So they'll double pay in April and they'll make both
Yeah.
payments instead of
Yeah.
having to come in twice.
yeah.
That
And,
sounds good.
and actually, our funding is a little bit different with the big school tax credit that you're getting on the front side of your income taxes, because that money is actually coming in at the end of January and at the end of, it's either the end of March or the end of April.
So
So,
that's-
I mean, it's kind of changed
helping
even
some.
April a little bit. So, I think we'll be okay. We just need to make sure that we're slowing down on big projects until, cause we just have to get through the next two claims periods and November payroll. And then hopefully by December, things will start going again.
I like you're doing a good job there, it sounds like to me.
You sent that email out and that to all the, department heads and elected officials, and so they're all aware of it.
We could call it old business, but I
I can't make that choice.
Sure,
That's up for you guys.
yeah. All right.
Okay,
Thank you for all that.
Thank
Yeah,
you're welcome.
thanks.
Are there any other questions or comments on this? All right.
What do you want us considering on these? We don't wanna vote on anything.
No.
do we?
No,
you don't
it-
I
Okay, I just
worded
wanna be
it that
sure we're
way
wor-
in case you needed to
Just
take
in case.
action.
I just,
right.
Oh,
that's smart. I just wanna
Right.
be sure we aren't passing up anything you wanted to try to get on.
No.
So we're considering it discussion only,
Just consider this
Apparently.
discussion.
yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
Fine.
But
Thank you.
that keeps our options open and I like that,
Thank you.
yeah. All right, so no other discussion on that item. We'll hope that staff continues to be diligent on trying to hold things to a bare minimum, and we appreciate what you've done so far. The next, is under old business, time clock plus and payroll processes.
I don't really have an update.
No new information on it?
I think it's still moving forward though, I think.
Oh,
Time
we
clock-
keep working on
Yeah,
it.
it's going. I mean,
Yeah.
things are
Yes.
moving. It ain't dying, that's for
Oh,
sure.
no.
We're making
It's
some
not dying
It's
at
all
progress.
getting better.
Okay. The USDA Wildlife Services Program, I think that's been on there intentionally to, if there's any further updates. I have not heard anything from the USDA or any other counties.
Probably be our next NACO meeting before we hear anything again, I would guess.
Could be,
That won't be till December.
yeah.
It ain't very far off to keep messing
Well,
with
true. Now,
No kidding.
So I don't think there's any update there as far as I know.
it. Okay,
Okay. All right, we'll go on the back side of the agenda, public comments. Board of Commissioners will receive public comments on items discussed at this meeting or suggestions for items of discussion at a future board meeting. The board will not take action or comments presented this date. So I would ask, is there anyone from the public that would like to address the commissioners? Mitch?
Mitch Wagers, MITCHWAGERS. So I want to make this statement without any response. Is that okay?
I don't know what it is, but go ahead.
Is it a
You can-
question?
It's not a
all right.
question.
I mean,
It's not a question.
there's some things that deserve a
What would
response.
it be necessary for then at that point?
Right. Go
Well,
ahead,
it
say what
says
you
right
gotta
here
say.
that you won't address it. So my statement is that I was recently asked what I would do to improve the attendance of these meetings. And my statement to that is, if the demeaning tone and attitude and answers from people are the way that happens from this body, you will not invite people to come to these meetings, which I think is sad. I think more people should come to these meetings, and I think you should treat the public with respect, and that's where I stand.
And I will respond, and I agree with you. And by the same token, I'd say the same to you. What goes around comes around, and that's what we get. I've been, and I will mention to you that this particular item on the agenda is where particularly, people from the audience get to say things. But I've had some pressure from even some of my own constituents up here saying, we don't have to let everybody speak on every single item. That's not required. Now, I want to do that. I want to be able to let people speak when they have an opinion. I think that's respectable, and as long as their things are done in a fairly concise and fairly, coachable spirit and trying to, as you would say, make things better, type attitude, then I think we ought to let people speak. And that's my position. But, yeah, sometimes some people come with a difficult demeanor when they come to the podium, and then sometimes it's tough. So, all right, anyone else want to speak? Seeing none, we'll go on to the next item, which is board and staff reports with discussion. And with that, we normally include any legislation if anyone has any updates on that. So normally we start on one side of the room or the other. Kelly, do you want to start?
I don't have anything.
Nothing for this evening. Staff, Steve? Robert? Darla? Linda? You do? Yeah.
Jackie Guzman, Nebraska Extension. We're in full swing right now with 4-H programming, positive youth development with public schools. So we have several hundred students come through the Extension Center with STEM programs, ag programming during this time of the year. So that's our non-traditional 4-H programming. Normally, people associate us with fair and ag. These are specific programs where we bring youth out to the Extension Center. We also are in full swing with after-school programming. So we go into the public schools with after-school programming. Right now, we're in the middle of a search committee. I don't know if you know that Nathan Rice resigned. Yeah. Yeah. So we have some really good candidates that have come forth, and so we're reviewing that right now, and look to be hiring someone within the next couple months. So yeah, sorry.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
This direction, who's back there?
Jay's back there.
Yeah,
Thing I gotta say is the boiler was taken out today at the courthouse, and it'll be probably the first week before it gets put back.
okay. Heather?
So, as I mentioned, we did send out our second half notices, for taxes. We did send out about, I think we sent out about 1,800 notices, trying to get taxes paid, which should hopefully also save us on advertising, because we'll have to send another notice out in January before we get ready to do our advertising for the public tax sale in March. So we're trying to get the list smaller. And we just did also send up our distress warrants, which we had sent out some notices in September for those, instead of just waiting for the 20-day notice. And I think this is the first time that since I've been treasurer, that we've actually sent up less than probably 300 distress warrants. With our notices, we ended up sending about 173 or 178 notices up there. So it should be a lot easier for the sheriff's office also this year.
Thanks. Kurt?
Okay, I got a full quarter of data now, expenses and all that, and based on my statements at the State of the Valley, now I'm just trying to pull out one-time purchases that were anomalies within that first quarter to give me a quarterly number to kind of project forward, see where that puts me at the end of the fiscal year based on what I know I have available in federal funds. Does not sound like we're getting any additional ones, but then based on that number, I have to work back and figure out, if cuts have to be made, how much each month on average, and then work with the state. Any cut, if we have to reduce services by 10% or more, then we'll have to have some public hearings. So hopefully that's the majority of my week this week, is trying to get all that figured out. So maybe by next board meeting, I can have a little better update for you, and some potential actions moving forward, but that all has to be done after we have public hearings. New process for me, never happened before, so be coordinate a lot with the state on this as I go forward, but do hope to have more information for you by next meeting.
Let's hope things level out by then, Kurt.
Yeah, the appropriated funds we have are what they have, so unless we can get some movement on a federal level to appropriate more funds to us, it is what it is this fiscal year. And at this point, we don't know what we're gonna get, what's available, and that's the entire state. NDOT doesn't know what they're getting next year at all. So, and then we may take some actions with our state association to to maybe put the word out to some of the other, entities that may have had a little more play in their budget than I did, and some of the larger agencies, to urge them to dial back some and maybe have some federal funds from some of the other agencies that some of us that had deeper cuts. I put forth a very conservative budget, and a 30% cut was actually a 3% cut off my previous year's budget. So, and that, I cut any expansion or any projects I had completely out of the budget. And even with that, I still had to cut, wages and benefits. So, got a lot of work ahead of us, but we'll get there, and I'll just keep you updated as soon as I have any more information.
Thank you, Kurt.
Gene? Troy? Okay. John, no? Anyone else back there? Any other staff?
All back
No.
there. Turn the lights on.
Is that Amanda back there?
Nobody's back there.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
she is
That's
back there.
Amanda back.
Yeah, can you stop and see me? Well, I'll see you in just a minute. I got a letter I want you to see. Okay, so I think we come up here to Jason. Anything?
No report.
Okay, Lisa?
Several of us attended the NERMA conference, and we did get our dividend, or they did issue dividends again this year, and we got back $34,000. So
Good.
that was positive. It was a very good conference as usual. So thank you.
You accepted the award for Jay?
Yes. and
Jay was named
Jay
what?
was named was given a recognition for his work on the safety committee. So I have his plaque for him.
Very good. Okay, we'll go to,
Kelly?
now we
Sure,
started
we
with
started.
Kelly.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you're next.
Scott Miller and I attended the Goshen Irrigation District groundbreaking ceremony for tunnel number 2 south of Fort Laramie on last Wednesday, I believe. Ex-Senator Erdman spoke about working with both states and how well everything was going with the, combined efforts. And he was standing in for Brian Harden, who was in Florida having supper with Donald Trump that afternoon. So that's all I know about that.
Okay. Mike?
On the 28th, I had the 911 advisory board meeting. On the 4th, this week, I have the Scotts Bluff Housing Board meeting. And then the 6th, I have the county safety meeting.
Okay. So we had the State of the Valley, meeting, and, our speakers there was Kurt, and he did a good job, for speaking on behalf of some county issues. Brenda Lacey was also on the list, but then she wasn't able to be at the meeting, and she asked if, Dave Wolf could stand in her place. I told her yes, and he did a good job as well. And so anyway, that's who was representing the county on the stage. They did it a little different this year. I thought it went pretty good. So, Greg, Dart, the WNCC president, did a good job of moderating that meeting. So, after that meeting, I went to a Leadership Scotts Bluff, class meeting, where I was on a panel along with, Mayor Ewing and, Mayor Bidlack and Kevin Spencer, City Manager of Scotts Bluff. And we answered questions for those, in Leadership Scotts Bluff, and went good.
Is that one word or two?
What?
Scotts Bluff.
Well, I went over that last year, and Scotts Bluff, I believe, is one word, but
For
with
this?
a capital B,
Okay.
right? Scotts Bluff County.
Right,
City of Scotts Bluff is a lowercase b,
right.
one word.
What's your question?
That's
For
what
the-
I believe it to be.
This leadership, is it for the county? You
Oh,
just said you
I
talked
see
to
what you
mayors
mean.
from other cities.
No, I don't know.
Like the county. Yes. Thank you, Monette.
Now, Monette.
saving the day at the beginning and the end.
Yeah. Then I have Panhandle Public Health District coming up this week, so, but that's all I have.
Yeah, all of mine are next week. I've got, I don't know, 4 or 5, however many are on the list. They all happen on Wednesday and Thursday. I will attend the tourism meeting also. They're just more informational. I think you're gonna be there for that one, Matt. But I'll have more of a report at our next meeting as to what happened next week. So,
Okay, Matt, it's your chance to say
The only
whatever
thing
you'd
that I
like to
have
say.
is the tourism, meeting coming up, what, the 17th? At the, Civic Center, so, other than that, I don't have anything.
Yeah, that's
meeting the
TCD.
same day?
You're talking about TCD, I think, Twin Cities Development.
Oh, Twin City Development.
But there is a
that's correct.
tourism meeting, the 12th, I think.
and next Wednesday.
Oh,
Okay, that makes more sense.
And I'll be attending that also.
yeah,
Second Wednesday.
so, yeah, second Wednesday of the month is tourism.
But I'll be there also, so it's not gonna, I'm the alternate anyway, so it doesn't.
That's all I have.
All right,
I just wanna welcome Matt again. I've known Matt for a long time, a long, long time. And I think he's gonna be a good addition to the board, and, anyway, welcome, Matt.
Thanks.
Look forward to working with you.
okay. So I believe that takes care of the board and staff reports, and no one mentioned any legislation, but I know NACO's working on that. So I think it takes care of those things, and the next thing, we're going to is the executive closed session regarding a personnel matter related to the evaluation of job performance and protection of the individual's reputation where a public meeting has not been requested. And with that, and I'm assuming, Jason, that we're gonna want to,
I'd like to object to it, I wouldn't have a public hearing or
okay, so, I guess, Jason, do we
So
see any problem with
You're
that?
saying you want the executive session, not an executive session, but to be held in a public meeting, is that
Right
correct?
now, yeah.
What you're saying, okay.
I just have some things I wanna get off my chest, so.
All right, so
I
hang
haven't
on
been
just a
able to-
minute. So, got any concerns or problems with that?
No, that was put on there because at the time, there was a request for it to be in closed
Yes.
session, but if that has been removed, we could just go to the next line item on the agenda.
All right, so,
I did request it, so now I've changed my mind.
okay, so then we're going to go to the next item on the agenda, which is discussion and possible action regarding the employment status of the county facilities manager. The board will review relevant reports, including the final audit letter to the Scotts Bluff County Commissioners from the Nebraska Auditor of Public Accounts dated October 22nd, 2025, and other pertinent information concerning the facility manager's duties and performance. So, that's the, agenda item. I guess, Jay, if you have some things you wanna start with, go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanna say to everybody here that, I've had 10 years with Scotts Bluff County and I enjoy my job and, the people that I work with. I started out as maintenance tech in 2015. I became supervisor of maintenance and later became facilities manager. I wish to continue working for Scotts Bluff County as facilities manager. The errors that I made were not intentional. I have strong moral values, and I hope that everybody here would understand that. I've always been a company person. I'll do anything pretty much day or night for the county, and I have. I get up in the middle of the night if I have to, or whenever I need to take care of business. Make sure every of the county facilities and properties are taken care of. I do my best here at the county to make sure that everyone's needs and maintenance, as far as maintenance is considered, taken care of. I not only try to save the county money, I do more than that, but I try to make sure every dollar we spend is done right. I've saved the county sufficient money on a day-to-day basis in the past for quite some time. Most recently, the $76,000 that we're paying for the windows, which I understand the federal government hasn't paid for yet, but, that was part of one of my projects that I worked on with Lisa. Whenever I'm buying stuff for the county, I do try to buy locally, and support our local businesses when the prices are competitive. And I do this by looking at stuff online to make comparisons to decide what's better for the county. That's only if we can wait the time for the parts to get here while ordering them. I've always trying to be a good steward with the taxpayers' money. By saving money for the county affects all taxpayers in the county. And I will buy products for the county on eBay, Amazon, and many other online locations. I also buy things from box stores like Home Depot and Menards and many other stores, and also online with these people as well. I have $1 million budget that I maintain yearly, or possibly around $1 million budget yearly, and have never asked any of you guys ever for any extra money in my 7 years that I've been facilities manager. I usually have a good surplus of my budget left over and to return to the county at the end of the budget year. So again, I'll get back to where we all are here for, because it seems like I've been kind of singled out, but anyway. Again, my eBay mistake was with the county purchasing card was that I purchased some little Fisher Price people for my grandkids and thought we had taken care of it. Lisa and I talked about it, that we kind of remembered talking about it, but somehow evidently it didn't get paid. Anyhow, I realize with electronic devices that once your devices you have accounts, which I had accounts with the county before, or with some of these places with eBay for sure. Before I came to the county, I started using it there. Our devices learn how to figure out how to put these accounts together. I made a mistake in not switching how the card was paid. So I rarely look at my own checking account or my bank statement, and haven't for probably 20-some years. And I forgot to switch that card, as I just said, and didn't notice that did not come out of my account. As far as Menards, I from time to time use my personal pickup to conduct county business. If my pickup's being used by some of my other guys or whatever, I'll do things like that, and keep my personal rebates in my pickup. I obviously mixed up some of these rebate cards. My wife and I spent over $10,000 in the last few years after our basement flooded, in the sum total of $30,000. So that was not done on purpose whatsoever. I keep some of my personal rebates cards in my desk drawer, so in case after work I need to go somewhere and go buy something from out there. So there again, they were mistakes as well again. One thing that I want to get to is that the personnel manual, I've never been issued a reprimand on this, or written or verbal of any kind of these mistakes. I said I would like to know why this policy, it's written in the personnel manual, has been skipped. I am an employee of the county, and I believe that this procedure should have been followed. And I should have fallen under these procedures. Everyone knows that the audit was a result of Charlie Knapper, and the county's budget is about approximately $13 million on an annual basis. The auditor found $2,000 in errors, and this would be a 0.00015% of the entire budget. I made mistakes and did not monitor the switching of the cards and the rebates. Tammy Fry, the diversion, made similar mistakes. Kelly, Darla, Roden Bridges, Brenda Lacey made some mistakes that were not allowed as well, unknowingly. Lisa made some errors, public defender made errors, and
other mistakes, other people have made some same mistakes on on the purchasing cards as well. We are all human and, make mistakes, and that's why the procedure is set up the way it is, to give us a chance to fix our mistakes and hopefully learn from them and move on. For some reason, which I don't know why, I'm the only appointed or elected official or employee that has been singled out. My name's been, and everything been put in the paper, whatever, at today's meeting, or in today's meeting. If I truly wanted to do something nefarious for with the county, I could have, gone and charged this toilet to the county and just taken it home, but that's not how I roll. I'm not that kind of person. The county has several toilets in multiple buildings, would've went not seen. I don't play that game. This last thing, basically, I'm here today with this sling on because I had rotator cuff surgery. I injured myself at my lake house. And it was my own injury on personal time, and I am, using my own sick time and my own vacation on this leave. I did not falsely claim that I was injured at work for the county and collect, workman's comp benefits for that. I guess in closing, I reiterate that I am not a thief, and these errors did not happen with any malicious or thoughts or intentions. This being said, I don't really have anything else other than I'd like to continue my time at the county. Thank you.
Hang
Stay
on,
right
Jay.
there.
Go ahead, I got a question.
I do too. Go right ahead.
On the, I don't use the rebate program at Menards. When you get a rebate, does it have your name on it? Does it have the county's name on it? Or how are they when they come?
Depends on how you send it in. And obviously, I didn't pay attention to the front of the card when I used it, or if it was sent in wrong, I sent in wrong. I wonder how many of the counties, how many of my own rebates I use for the county. I don't know. The auditors don't say that, but they'll tell me what I used.
So when you get the card,
$188.
when you get the card, the rebate
Right.
for however amount, is the rebate made out to you?
It's just on the front of the card.
But no, what I'm saying is that if it's your rebate,
Right.
something that you purchase for your personal use, it's gonna come with your name.
Yeah.
If it's something for the county, does it have the county's name on it?
Just depends. It's how you send in the little thing that you send in.
How
But
you
it
fill
does
out
have a code on those on the rebate cards, that only they know what, or who spent the money.
Okay.
Okay. Jay, you know that this audit only went back 18 months, right?
I do.
The cards that were turned in, some were 5 years old, they all have your name on them. There's no Scotts Bluff County cards in there. Right? Their cards are all made out to Jay Stanley, not Scotts Bluff County. So, that's concerning that those have been laying around, I don't know, there was 7 or 8, 6, 5, whatever it was. 5 years old that weren't turned in, why are we holding those back? Why would you not have the guys buy a screwdriver for the county?
They're all hanging on my wall in my office. I tell
see
them to
that.
use it whatever they want.
Well, that's not my point. You're the supervisor. Wouldn't you say, let's put the money back in the county? Let's
I
put
don't
the
know
money
how that- I
back.
don't know how
We
that
got the money out.
I don't know how that would happen unless we made a purchase.
It looks like you guys use them quite a bit. You guys purchase quite a bit there, don't you?
No, not as
Almost
much as
weekly?
we used to.
Aren't you there weekly?
We used to be there a lot more, but since
You're not talking
Ace
about,
Hardware's been over here, we've been doing a lot more business.
you're
with
not
them.
talking about thousands of dollars. There was $600 or $700 worth, I think you showed.
700.
And so those could have all been back in. We'd have had 700 back into the county instead of hanging on a wall. Who hangs $700 on a wall?
That's why why we discussed this, so we can figure out what doesn't happen again, I guess.
Well, like I said, that $700 is $700. It should have been returned, and it should be in the county's name, not in Jay Stanley, not in Russ Reisig or
those
Kenny
was
Meyer's
mine,
name.
yeah.
They should be Scotts Bluff County cards. That's who paid the bill.
Yeah, I understand. I made mistakes.
More than one, because there's a lot of cards. And like I said,
I
these
guess-
guys only went back 18 months, and what would we find if we went back 5 years, would you guess? We went back, they went back, we didn't do anything. We got this all hand delivered and this thing cost us how many dollars? $4,900 for this little report that we really didn't want. I didn't even wanna see this. We got it.
Sorry. So, with that being said, I guess I'm done. Thank you.
All right, we may have questions for you in a little bit. Okay, Mitch.
Okay.
I don't think it's appropriate.
Well, see, these guys are telling me I shouldn't even be letting you up here, but go for it and
One more time.
let's do it.
Mitch Wagers, MITCHWAGERS. I'll try and make this quick. As I believe that's not the only person that was involved, I would only say that there's other people, one of them sitting up here in this room, that directly affected my business in a negative way. So I don't believe that punishing one person without punishing another is just.
This must be a mystery movie, cause I ain't getting it.
Kurt?
I do have one thing. I think that, we need to do a little more deep dive into how Menards lets us use these rebates.
Say it again.
Because how Menards lets us use these rebates, because if we go out and we have Transit has our own charge account. When we go out and charge something, they will not apply rebates to a charge invoice. So once you divvy up $3 here and $6 there and $9 there, and if there's a difference, you have to figure out a different way to pay it. You can't charge it to
Detention center just got it done the other
Right.
day.
unless
I
Kurt,
use,
would you say that again? You lost me.
Well,
in the
the
first-
last time we tried to use ours and charge to our account, they would not apply rebates to
To the charge
a
account.
charge account.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know if there's a better way to do this or centrally located, but I think as we're going through this whole process, as
Can't you
uncomfortable it
apply-
is,
Can't you apply the cash and charge the balance?
last time my folks went out and tried, they would not let us.
Something's not right. They're
So,
probably trying to. plan to
If,
do that.
if we can get that changed, great, or if we can send them in Menards and they can apply it to our accounts, that's great, but I know we've had difficulty doing it. And so there's times where, hey, I get as close as I can with rebates and I just pay the balance out of my own pocket, because they won't let me charge the difference, so I think it's something we need to get clarified with Menards, so we know how they operate, and so we have a better idea of how we're going to go forward with this.
Jay, were the rebates that we're talking about now, was that on a charge account at Menards or a credit card? They're all, it's just a basic charge account at
Regardless,
Menards.
you're still charged.
And you're saying that the rebates don't apply
Well,
to
when
the
you-
charge account?
When you mail, you can charge and you can send in that invoice to get your rebate. But when we've tried to apply them, like we went and bought, $50 worth of stuff, and we had $20 rebates, we couldn't apply 20 and then just get billed for the 30. They would not let us apply them that way. I do know when they come, the outside of it's a little glued together card. The outside has the name of the individual, but once you tear that off, there's no name on that rebate card. So if you've separated them and mixed them up, you don't know. It honestly could be an honest mistake where you've mixed them up, because once you tear that outside cover off, there's no name on that actual rebate that's turned in to Menards, so, yeah, so.
Well, it's there,
Show
it's
us that.
there.
Come show us that.
Going
It is
back?
there.
Okay,
right.
just mine, I haven't looked at them lately, we haven't sent any in, because now you,
Can you
Well,
pass those down?
we don't
Lisa?
borrow a lot.
Just give it to Russ.
We use them a lot at our office, and
But you're-
my people have not said that at all.
Okay, but
So
like I
I'll
said,
check into
we
that.
have tried
And
to,
this is one that just came in the mail.
we have tried to, apply them to a charge account, and maybe the cashier didn't know how to do it, I'm not gonna say it's not their policy, but we weren't able to. So I think we need to clarify with Menards, and maybe, if we
I'd say-
can, maybe it's a training issue on their end. But anyway, we
I don't
definitely
know.
need to figure out the best policy or the best way to do it going forward.
Okay, cause detention
opinion.
center did it with this last claims run. There was 3 rebates applied to one
To an
invoice.
invoice, okay, and I can dig
Did
into
it
it
pay
too.
the invoice in full?
What?
Did it pay the invoice in full?
No,
Okay.
no, there was still a balance.
Okay.
So-
And they
it-
charge that.
It could have been
Yeah.
a cashier issue too. I don't
Could
know.
have been, I mean, I
That was
had
just
to
from
pull
what
it.
my staff has told
Their
me.
main goal is to get you back in the door if that'll.
Absolutely, absolutely, so,
I'm sure
anyway,
they
as
give
we're
you a
working
little-
through this on the policies, I think that's probably where we need to get something firm in writing with how we're gonna handle those.
But
Okay.
these that are the ones that you take there to use certainly has the name on it.
Okay, and I know they've changed things up recently, so.
Okay,
'cause
and I have one that came in the mail this week.
Okay,
up there.
This is what comes in the mail,
and I. can-
right?
Right, what Mark's got right there, I believe.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, it's that, this
Those
is a
two
brand
too.
new one. They come folded like this so
Okay.
that
Okay.
you can't read how much is on there when it comes in the mail.
Okay.
So once you go to here, you can tear that off and then it still has the person's name on the front.
Okay, so, and I hadn't paid
Okay.
attention, cause I don't send them in.
So all of these that I'm looking at all have Jay's name on the front. So is that a charge by Jay Steinley personal or by Jay Steinley
No,
County?
you fill out the card, you send it in with your receipt to who you want it mailed to, and so he has to have it mailed to Jay Snyder.
Yes.
You
And
put
he,
in whoever you want.
he handed them to me with the explanation, these are the ones that were on my bulletin board for my guys to use.
See, I don't use them, so I don't.
I've used, as a private citizen, the rebate program. It works really slick. The only change they've made recently is the fact there's not a time frame to send them in anymore. They're good forever. And I use mine personally every time I get them if I go to buy something. And I know the detention center, they use them whenever they need to buy, say, paint or whatever. They send the guys with rebate cards to reduce that amount and sometimes pay for the whole thing. And they're doing it very responsibly. And when it comes to credit cards, I keep hearing people say, well, I grabbed the wrong credit card. I don't buy that. I used to carry a federal credit card when I traveled. I had no trouble using the correct credit card because I took my federal one and stuck it in the back of my wallet in a certain place, and my private one was on top of my wallet, so whenever I was traveling, I would have to dig for my federal one. And I carried one for almost 30 years and never had an issue with grabbing the wrong card. I could see maybe somebody doing that once, twice maybe, but after that, I don't buy any excuse. Oh, I grabbed the wrong credit card. I don't buy that.
So should there be?
We're all responsible human beings, and when you're a department head or even a foreman or an employee of a public agency, you have to take that extra precaution because you are given a responsibility. And when you frequently say, I used the wrong card, that doesn't get any support from me. I don't buy it.
So should there be should there be something with the individual on this report that used the wrong credit card? Are we doing anything with those?
That was a one-time thing.
That's
Like
a-
I said, if that would go.
And
couple
like
times,
my recommendation is we need to look into these other individuals, make sure it's a one-time thing, and make sure corrective action is taken. Mr. Steinley, his is a repeated incident. And we don't know how far back it goes. I can tell you right here, was a public individual who worked for a city in our community. He took on the responsibility of emptying a pop machine at his place of business, which was a city government. And the amount was probably less than $20. He lost his job because they have strict standards. You don't steal, you don't misappropriate funds. And I feel that we need to maintain that same policy because this wasn't just misuse of funds for the county, this was misuse of funds for the citizens of our county. And why wasn't this reported before? Why did it take the state to catch it? If we're out there making mistakes, we need to come in and say, I made a mistake, we need to fix this. That didn't happen. It did with some people, but not with Jay. I mean, I like Jay. I think he's done a great job,
All right.
but there's accountability of public funds at issue here.
Okay, I'll go back to my other question. The cards that I look at, and I apologize for not, because I don't use the rebate program. But all of those came to Jay Steinley to this address, or the county's address. there's nothing on there that says that it was a personal purchase or whether it was a county purchase. That's where I'm having trouble here.
Well, the auditors tied that together. They went back and located those purchases, found out what the rebates amounts were.
Why wasn't that included in our report?
It
They
is.
only went back it's in there, but they only went back 18 months. They didn't go back, the pile you got there, some 5 years old.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and I'm not arguing the fact that, yeah, there's some grocery items that were purchased.
regardless of what was purchased.
Well, it does, because the county's not buying Sunkist drink mix. So
Well, I
it does
agree,
make a
but-
difference.
But Jay would have his sent to his home address. These were sent to the county's address with his name on it. Is what they had said in this report.
Can I make sure I have clarification on this issue? So those cards came back to Jay Steinley, but what you're telling me, Lisa, is that those were charged on the county's charge card, and then they went into Jay Steinley's name, is that correct? The way you understand it?
Jay reported to me the cards that were the county cards, he had them together, hung them on a bulletin board over here. He had his personal ones in a drawer over here. And when I asked, 3 weeks ago, when he came in and made restitution and made the payment for what's in that letter, and I said, you need to give me the cards, and he had them in his hands. These were the ones that were the county cards. Did I go receipt by receipt? No, I did not. I do not have that access to do that at this point.
Those are the cards he gave you.
Menards could bring them up.
That's why I have them. He handed them to me, said these were the ones that were on my bulletin board. That were the counties. You can ask him to reconfirm that if you'd like.
I don't think those are the problem. Those have not been spent. Those are still accessible to the county. I think the ones that have already spent
And
have
when
been made into his name.
No, but my point to that is that
Okay,
if we bought merchandise with the county's charge account, and then the rebate form got filled out, and it was filled out in Jay Steinley's name, then that does make a big
well, he
difference
made
to
both
me.
of them, but
He-
part of
he
them were
would've
mailed
filled that
to
out.
Jay Steinley's personal, and some were mailed to the county.
I don't think any went to his personal address.
No.
I don't know, Jay, do you send any
Jay,
to your
what-
personal home?
Come up here, can you clarify some of that for us?
I guess some of, I had, everything that was for the county was sent here. I had some stuff that was mine that was sent to my home. That's how I tried to separate.
Do all of them have Jay Steinley's
That's
name on it?
mostly,
Just a different address?
yes. That's
Okay.
probably that's how I tried to separate them. When I used them, I obviously didn't, look at the front of the card. I looked at what was on the back and used it for my personal stuff. I'll admit that. I mean, that's just neither here nor there. I can't change that. So,
And you made restitution for all of those errors, or whatever
Yes.
we're gonna call them here?
yes. So,
I'll mention the things that I have, and most of you know that I think I've been Jay's, liaison, commissioner, supervisor, for almost as long as I've been a commissioner, I think. And I think Ken was before that, possibly, but, the one thing, that that Jay knows, and that's that, I have not been a major hands-on person guiding, micromanaging in any way with him. And in the overall scheme of things, I have felt that the job that he has done here has been very acceptable, and his reviews from me have been basically good. We had one issue that I'm not gonna mention here tonight, but that it was mentioned in his last review. But besides that, I don't think we had any evidence prior to any, inappropriate spending of county funds. And I don't know that we would have ever seen it unless this audit was conducted. I believe that the state auditor's office certainly went through it, in more detail than anybody probably ever has in our office. I think in our office, some of those processes and procedures are changing, somewhat because of this. And, I know that the, policies and procedures of how rebates are gonna be handled specifically hasn't fully been decided yet, and it's probably gonna end up back in our plates here soon as part of the, how we deal with those, in the future. But obviously, whatever those rebates are, whether it's from Menards, or some people have mentioned Staples, or any other place that offers rebates, those rebates are the counties. And I fully, agree to that. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. That everybody knows those rebates are the counties, and whatever advantage is gained by getting those rebates, that the county should have the advantage of that, if it was the county spending the money. So my point is, I have been, generally satisfied, more than generally, at least 90% satisfied, maybe 95% of Jay's work, what gets done here. When I come into this building and I see what's here and how it's taken care of, I feel pretty good about it. In 95% of all cases, I feel good about it. There's a few things that get reported to me or I see myself, but we're talking about possibly 2% of 2 to 5% of what he does. And so to that extent, I think he's done a good job. The concern, to me, and a non-biased, non-interested third person seen me yesterday and said, I see you're gonna be discussing, the issue about the Menards rebates tomorrow. I said, yep, we are. He said, his point was, he said, it seems like the fact that this was repetitive in nature would suggest some intent. And, that's the words he used, and it's kinda stuck with me for the last 24 hours or so, that, it is concerning to me. And and I absolutely do believe there is other people in this report. And this report's public, it hasn't been secretive. The, auditor's office has posted this on their website, and it's been part of, reports from both the Star Herald and Caney B. And so the information is there. Anybody can read it that wants to read it. But my concern is certainly the repetitive nature of this. And then when we look at the other, I'll call some infractions, and then there's a couple others that haven't fully been determined to be, the auditor says potentially disallowed purchases. Potentially was those of Dunkin' Donuts, Blossom Shop, Walmart, and the Flower Basket. Doesn't say that those were specifically, a violation. It says they're potentially disallowed, and that we need to address those for the future. whether or not those are allowed, and obviously, they need to be minimally accepted, would be at least the implied from the state. But, then we had one other infraction of a credit card being used, and it was the wrong credit card, but it was discovered, and, the person came in and took care of it. And said, I accidentally used my card, I need to reimburse. But this is different than that. And, that's the concern I have, is that this one is different. And, it, also, concerns me. Jay has very specifically talked about it wasn't his intent. Yet it happened several times. And I am concerned about that. Jay also mentioned one other thing about the audit and how this audit was spurred, and the state auditor said it was a anonymous complaint, and I guess, I don't know exactly who it was, but that's what it says, an anonymous complaint. So, anyway, I'm interested in hearing whatever other discussion, but, it doesn't set a good example, that's for sure. And, certainly, whether it be a elected official or a, any other,
Supervisor.
appointed supervisor or any other county employee, we need to set a good standard. And, so to that extent, there's certainly some serious concern. But I'm interested in hearing anybody else's thoughts.
I do have a question for Jay, if you could, answer it.
You might as well sit down up here, Jay. So you have to walk so far.
And I thought this was kind of an odd situation. When you were talking to Lisa and you was turning in your cards, you said you threw your personal ones away.
Yep, just in case that anything would happen.
Why would you throw good money away?
How would I know? Cause I thought these were mine, so I guess you know what?
I mean, even if you thought they might be the county's, why would you throw them away? That to me is real puzzling.
Just because I thought, what the hell? Why would I take the chance again?
I mean, why wouldn't you just turn, if you didn't know for sure, why didn't you just turn all the cards over to Lisa?
Is it already done?
That to me is really mind-boggling.
I think we've got two issues that we're talking about. Credit card and the charge or the rebate.
I don't think credit card's a problem.
Well, they are in a couple instances here where we've used the wrong credit card.
For the other
Well,
people.
yeah, but
For others, for other ones in here.
That, we're not finished with that issue.
Yeah,
So,
we're-
I mean, it doesn't, that's not
And
what,
when it was
That's
dis-
not why we're here, I don't believe. Those credit cards were a one-time thing. They show no intent.
Well, we
Well,
need,
Can I finish what I started, guys?
Absolutely.
Thank you, I
Go right
appreciate
ahead.
that. The two issues that we're talking about are the rebate cards that were used for personal use. Rebate cards that I'm assuming were purchased, original purchase was for something county that got mixed up, got confused. I think the one thing Jay is very guilty of is bookkeeping skills. And you admit that. You admit that. I'm not 100% convinced that it was something that was intentional. And it, just as I don't think that the misuse of a credit card was intentional. Okay? And if you've got that card in your billfold and you use it for the county purchase, and if it is similar to the card that you use for your own, There's a way that you could get the two confused. When you find out about it, you come in and you take care of it. Okay? I think in this particular case, and looking at these cards, and again, I apologize for not understanding how they work, cause I don't use them. But when the card shows up, there has to be some way of knowing that this rebate is from a county purchase, this rebate is from a personal purchase. And I'm not sure where that distinction is. I'm not convinced that we know. At least the cards that I looked at here. And I'm assuming they were county purchases, but I don't know that. They have Jay's name on it with the address for here. So what are we in my opinion, what are we guilty of is not keeping them separate. So that we know which ones are personal, which ones are not. Back to a bookkeeping situation. Hopefully we can get that straightened out. I don't know. But
Maybe I'm crazy, but if you purchase something for yourself, wouldn't you have that rebate card go to your home address?
Well, they were, you said they were.
And the ones that have the county address were evidently county purchases.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
And then I look at this list of stuff that was purchased, there's definitely nothing in there the county could use.
Well, that's, according to Russ, it doesn't matter what was purchased. It does matter.
It does matter.
Absolutely
I'm just
it
saying,
matters.
These show intent, cause there's several purchases with
Yeah.
each card.
I don't,
One-time flowers, and the flowers that it says from Walmart, that was when Bobby died out at the
Yeah.
Road and Bridge, and I asked Steve Baird to get some flowers, and I thought they were gonna pass the hat and get flowers. They used
Yeah.
credit card, and I was okay with either way, because
No, they
that's an
did.
employee, pardon me?
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
Go ahead.
The flowers that were on the report were not that situation, but I'm just,
They were supposed to have been paid for it, I don't know if they did
but
that.
that wasn't in this audit because it was in this fiscal year. The flowers were I'm sorry, I'm not throwing you under the bus, but this is Darla's
thought
purchase
Walmart
for
had
some.
that. I thought those
Walmart
were-
were thank you cards. They bought a box of not thank you cards, get well cards.
Oh, okay,
That's-
well regardless, I said they could buy the flowers. But my question is, we have a man with $1 million budget, and he takes a handful of rebate cards with his name on them and throws them away, and he still wants to run $1 million budget? And we have less than $1,000 we threw away, and we still don't know whose cards they were.
the cards that you threw away, were they yours or the county's, Jay?
My name on it with my address, so I don't, they were mine as far as I know, but I'm not gonna take the chance. They were the county.
When you say your address, your home address, not the county address, right? Okay.
But there again, we don't know.
That's why I just asked him.
I know, but
You have-
we
He
don't
doesn't know,
know.
we don't know, nobody
You don't
knows.
know, nobody knows.
Well, Menards knows.
Menards knows.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, Jason had something, I'm gonna let him address it, cause he explains it more succinctly, but Jay brought up that we didn't corrective action or follow through with corrective action, but at his status as an appointed official, and this is why we did not bring those other, or go through all the other policies that we're proposing to personnel board, is because appointed officials are not directly covered by the personnel policy, so. And what he was alleging that we hadn't hadn't done all the processes, well, he doesn't follow under that process. Basically, did I get it?
Yeah, the county does have a personnel manual that deals with, kind of internally hired civil service that answer to, say the HR director versus department heads. So within the personnel manual, they basically have type of classified employee that's meant to be under the personnel board manual. So somebody within a particular department that's employee falls under that process, and they have a supervisor and can be written up in a particular manner. If it's a department head, for example, they don't fall under the personnel manual, they don't meet the definition of that particular type of classified employee. They're still subject to discipline, but they have a liaison on the county board that's appointed, as has happened in the past, if you want to take action, if there's an objection and you wanna take action regarding a department head, you have a different procedure.
Which includes this procedure tonight.
It
Yeah,
does,
it
yeah.
does.
So there is
Process hearing.
there is a personnel manual that has a specific definition of which employees, and it's defined, but it does not include, you know, elected officials, it does not include, you know, certain, professional services, people that you hire, and department heads.
In what way do you mean it doesn't include?
They're not subject to that particular manual, meaning that the personnel board manual was put together based on a
For
series of
personnel.
state statutes, essentially trying to protect permanent civil service employees but they define it as a particular classified employee, and then they indicate in the personnel manual, not subject to that definition are elected officials or department heads, or certain positions are excluded from the manual, and most of the time, for example, a department head would have a supervisor that would be a member of the county board of commissioners, for example. So that you know, that it's set up in a way, it was established a long time ago, but it was set up in a way that the county board of commissioners would have the ability to retain or not certain people that you appointed to a position versus somebody that is seen as kind of traditional civil service that has a different type of due process.
Thank you. Matt, you haven't spoke. I know you're new, but I think
am
you
new.
still have I think you still have an opinion of how things should or shouldn't be done.
I'm new to this. I'm still processing it. Jason, if program manager, is that the term you used?
Facilities manager.
No, but I mean the
Appointed officials.
personnel that don't
okay,
fall under
gotcha.
the
Yeah, department heads.
department heads. Were a facility manager or program managers under that handbook or under that?
Would not be directly subject to the personnel manual.
Okay.
But
But if they were under this personnel, would that affect this current situation?
There's a different process that's in place for,
Civil servants?
yeah, including, you know, that if personnel takes an action, there's an appeal process. I mean, so it's just certain types of, employees that fall under that personnel manual have a different process that has to be followed.
And, Jay, is it? I think one of the things that you mentioned is that you weren't, reprimanded. I don't know, you said something about the,
I was just unaware that what Jason just said, I guess, and that's why I brought it up.
okay.
there we go. That's why we stated it, cause he had said he wasn't, and it's like,
Right.
well, you're under a different set of
Yes.
circumstances, and we are required to give you a due process hearing, which is what's happening basically right now, right?
It is, yeah, and it's, and I think as Mark indicated, I mean, it's a little bit unusual process in terms of how it came before the board this time, in that it's a publicly released, you know, letter from the state auditor.
Well, I think the amount of information that's here, I mean, it does show, to me, it implies intent, and the amount of purchases that were made, and evidently the rebates that were submitted, that's concerning. If it was submitted under his name for county purchases, but I don't really have anything more.
Jay, I wanna ask you a question. The purchases that they're talking about in here, the rebates that were used. Were you aware that the rebates that you used were county rebates? Have you used your own personal rebates for purchases at Menards? Okay.
I'm not sure I heard the answer. What was the first answer to that question?
I didn't know that they were county rebates.
Okay. And when you say you would have used some of your personal ones, is that what you said?
If I've ever used my personal ones, and I said yes.
Okay, another question, Jay. The purchase of these little dolls, were they used on a credit card? On the county credit card, obviously?
I forgot to switch to pay the card on
I can't hear you. I'm sorry, Jay.
can't either.
Come
He
up here.
didn't change the default card that was on his
default card on their.
eBay account.
It was my default card was evidently or the last card I used, however it's set up, was the county card, and I didn't switch it over to my personal.
Yeah, cause you don't have to give the card every time. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
You do
No.
every time, it's credit card.
If you do, yeah, if you do it
I
on-
don't, I buy stuff off of Amazon. They have my card.
Oh, no,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
at
they have it
Menards,
on.
You gotta give it to
But
the
I have
clerk.
there was
Yeah.
2 of them on mine, so.
So
Yeah.
one is yours, the other one is, so you purchase stuff from eBay,
Right.
also with the county credit card. Is that right?
Yeah, cause like,
So
as
that
I
was-
said with the smartphones, they tie them, mine tie them together, so mine was tied together, so.
So you were assuming that when you bought these,
Yes.
that you were using your own credit card,
Yes,
and they charged it to the county credit card.
yes.
Weren't you curious when you never got a bill from them?
I don't look at my bank statement, Russ. I said I haven't looked at it since I was 15 years old.
I don't either, but boy, I think I know what card I have.
Does-
And it was for
does
23
anybody-
bucks.
Who does your finances in your family, if I might ask?
Me.
Who
I
pays
do
out
my
your
own,
credit
my
card
wife
bills?
does her own.
What's that?
I do my own, my wife
Okay,
does hers.
so you don't reconcile your credit card statement? Well,
I
I
think-
sure recommend you do in the future.
Well, my biggest question is why you'd be charging on the county credit card?
It wasn't intentional, Russ. If it was intentional, we would have done it.
How did it get there? I mean, how did it happen?
I just said,
You had to get the card out and physically take
No,
the
I
number
didn't.
off of it.
if they're both on account.
You got them both on eBay?
Yeah.
You use the county's card on eBay?
Sure we do. We buy a lot of stuff on eBay.
Yes, he does. He
We
does.
buy a lot of cheap stuff, way
I
cheaper
buy a lot
than
of
I
cheap
can buy
stuff too, but
anymore.
I have my own money, so I don't worry about it.
And replacement parts for such
Sure,
that
we
you
do
can
a lot.
only find on
I
eBay,
understand,
that you
but
can Google search.
I'm not getting how you're getting, using the counties on these items. I'm not getting.
Can I
There
tell-
are different buttons on
Yeah.
screens, and it says ending these 4 numbers, ending these 4 numbers, or invoice later, something like that.
Or it becomes your default card.
Right.
And it will always charge it to that card.
To the same card, correct?
It happens. It happened to me 3 years ago too, yeah.
But I only have one card on, I don't have three or 4 cards on one company. I have one card, and that way I only have to chase one wagon down the road.
Happened to Jason. He and I talked about this the other day.
Jay, have you used any of your personal rebate cards for county purchases?
Not that I know of.
Or do you know it or you don't know it?
I don't know.
You don't know if you did or not. Could you have,
It's a possibility, yeah.
it's a possibility you could have used
They could have got mixed up just like the
a
other ones did.
personal rebate on a purchase that you bought for your flooding in your basement, right? That one of those could have been used
For something on the county.
towards a county purchase.
Something, a good possibility, but I don't know.
Okay, we've established the fact that they're
doesn't-
mixed up.
It doesn't.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, this information from the auditor's office certainly talks about, that there were purchases made on the county charge card that then those rebate postcards that came back, the funds were used to purchase some of these other items that we're talking about.
The rebate card you're talking
The
about.
rebate cards.
Okay.
And those rebate cards were earned by purchases on the county charge card. I call it a charge card,
Account.
Or the,
not a
the
credit
county
card.
charge.
The
County
charge account.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're
That's
saying.
what this
Whose
is
name
saying.
is rebate account on Scotts Bluff County or Jason?
You mean, whose name is the,
My eBay
But-
account is under Russell Rice.
oh, it's probably under Jay
And
Stiley.
my charge gets charged to Russell Rice.
Are you asking on the eBay credit card?
Yeah, eBay or Amazon or whatever.
Is the eBay credit card under the county or under your
Not
name?
credit card, the eBay account. You have to have an account.
Tie them together, I don't know, same way with that, it'll ask if you wanna ship to this address or that address.
Last time you promised? I promise. All right,
You don't have to promise that.
I don't, but I do.
you did.
Mitch Wagers, MITCHWAGERS. I think there should be a definite distinction between what was purchased with a county card versus what was purchased with a rebate card, because they are different. So I want to address Mr. Blue's statement about throwing money away. I agree with you that, like, if you just take your rebate, you can decide on your own. If you're an individual, right, you say, I don't care about the rebate, and you throw the receipt away. Or, you know, as a business, you don't tear off the bottom of it and send it in, which is what we're talking about. As an individual, you can choose to do that, right? And you're right, you're throwing money away if that's what you do, kind of. But has every purchase from any merchant that has a rebate program been reconciled where there's always a rebate and the county always gets the rebate?
The answer is no.
Not at this point.
So I think singling that out for one person would be difficult to do if it's possible that there's others that have the same result.
I think the primary discussion here has been about, you earned a rebate, you applied for the rebate and spent the rebate inappropriately.
Well,
It
but-
doesn't particularly have to do with what you're suggesting.
But Mr. Blue's statement was throwing money away, which
Yes.
which was to the point of he took the cards and he
Yes.
threw them in the trash or
And-
whatever. I don't want to speak for him, but that's
That's all
right.
And
Okay, well, if other county employees didn't tear that rebate thing off the bottom of the Menards receipt or Staples and they threw it in the trash, well, they're guilty of the same thing.
Well, I think if I remember right, there's only, what, 2 departments that use Menards rebates, or maybe 3?
at least 3,
Yeah, detention
Transit.
center, facilities, and
detention.
Road and bridge.
road and bridge.
I don't know if Road and Bridge, it was
You know-
transit,
Oh, right,
building and
okay.
grounds,
Transit.
All right, maybe not.
Detention.
detention,
And
and maybe
The
tourism
state
has
did
a
not find any problems with those other entities.
But you wouldn't know if you threw them away.
Right. They
Right.
did
You-
not find any entities.
But you wouldn't
problem.
know that
No.
if they just threw the rebate receipt portion away, because it is a
No,
different
yeah, yeah.
portion of the
They-
I
receipt.
mean,
so-
that's really has nothing to do with it. I mean.
Well, it's throwing money away if you don't
Anybody has the
turn
right
it
to
in.
throw a
And
rebate
neglect.
away. It's just if it's a county rebate, then that affects us.
Right, and if they didn't turn those in and get a rebate to the county, then you're throwing money away.
That's also
right.
inappropriate
Yeah.
to one extent. Again, we all know Menards is 11%. Some of
Yeah,
these others are 2%, but they do make a difference. If I go buy something for $1.50 and I'm gonna get 2% back, frankly, I throw it in the trash. Okay, and so maybe,
Well, then you gotta,
well,
you gotta take what
yeah,
he
so
said.
I
mean,
and if I owe 20 cents to my business, I'll have to reimburse them for that 20 cents. I understand what you're saying, but it really has nothing to do
There's a
with this
difference between
discussion.
fraud and neglect, and that's all I gotta say. How about we take a 2-minute, 5-minute?
Thank you for your
I have to pee.
I just wanna add something because we've been following this for a while. Menards has a website that's Track Your Rebate.
Yes.
You go through it, this is how the auditor's office does it, this is how they did it in Wayne County. You go through it, there's the number on your check, the thing that says, it tells you how much you purchased, whether or not you redeemed it. That's how he does it. He's going through and he's looking and he's comparing to the receipts. And so you can see if somebody's having rebates sent to their house or sent to their business, and then if they've spent it. So I guess I just would just point out that yes, there is a system to track this, and that's how the auditor does it and is able to see what it
Sounds
is.
pretty
And that's
simple.
where it becomes an issue, because they're county funds. And there have been some counties where it's been a lot of funds. Kind
Yeah,
of-
there are some other counties, as you said, that have got in
Yeah.
serious trouble over some of this. And the dollars are substantially more. And I felt that we were just fortunate, and, that when this came out, that when we added up all of the items, they come up to less than $1,000. And I, felt, I don't wanna say good about it, but I felt that, we, were saved by hopefully employees being as honest as they can be. And that, we had minimal, issues, that came out of a budget of what, $40 million or more in a year. And this went back 18 months. I feel blessed that we didn't have any more than what we've had. And there are some processes that are happening in Lisa's office even now to watch some of this stuff closer, and some policies still to be developed to watch this even closer, which is gonna be happening. But, certainly, when I will say I was shocked when I seen this report. I just didn't think
never
that it
guessed.
would show that.
The biggest question I have is intent. I've asked Jay twice already whether he knew that he was using a county rebate to purchase something personal. His answer was, no, he didn't. It's up to us to prove somewhere along the line that he did know that it was a county rebate, and that he did flagrantly use that county rebate card to purchase something on a personal level.
Page 5 tells us that. It says the facilities manager redeemed this rebate on May 25th, 2025 through a purchase
Right.
that's comprised of apparent personal items which are detailed in the following table. Ranch seasoning, Sunkist
I've
pineapple
got the
drink,
report, Mike.
Let's just
Yeah, whole
finish
thing.
it out, Mike.
Sunkist lime drink mix, pitcher, all-purpose cleaner, tub and shower wand, plastic number 1, some kind of reflective, 6-inch reflective thing, plastic number 3, brass cup hook, Sunkist strawberry drink mix, damp red moisture absorbers, rain gauge, surface recessed mount D-ring, mac and cheese, peach preserves mug, raspberry preserves mug, TV wall mount, and a welcome mat. Those are all personal items. They are not something we use in the county normally.
I understand that, Mike, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I'm saying is, and that's what I asked Jay, did you know that you were using a county rebate to purchase these items, this Sunkist stuff or whatever it's on this? And his answer was no.
If he can't answer that, I sure don't want him handling $1 million. No way, ain't no way.
Ken, you said that we have to substantiate that he did it intentionally. And I don't know that we have to substantiate that. I think what's important is, did he know or should he have known that those purchases were not appropriate with those rebate cards.
I don't disagree with you with that,
Yeah.
Mark.
So, yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, and
Did he know
that's
or
what,
should he have known?
right, should he have known? Had he been a better bookkeeper, he would have known that. But he's not. He's not.
My point, that's my point, right?
He's not, and that's,
But he has been offered help to help train him up to be a better bookkeeper. Is that right, Lisa?
Yes.
Charlotte will tell you that.
Last 3 months, not the previous 7 years.
Charlotte's helped you and so have I.
Jay, when did you first request help on your bookkeeping? But you're getting help now, is that correct? Okay.
Charlotte's been helping a lot.
Well, would you come up here,
can't
please,
hear
Jay? I,
I said Charlotte's has helped me a lot
in the
Lisa's
last,
in the last 2 or 3 months, yeah, 4.
okay,
And Lisa's helped in the past if I've asked for help.
okay.
But we have had a program that we used that kept all this stuff separated, kept everything go, laid out on what general ledger items it was on and everything like that. But since that program has died, which developed, or they've gotten put together a spreadsheet.
Did that include the rebates?
No.
Okay. You wanted to take a break, Russ?
I do. Should we do that?
I see it starting to float.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're not in an executive session at this point, so we could probably take a break if we wanted to.
You could take a break, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna say that we'll take a break, but, I wanna hold it to 8 minutes, if we could. So, I don't have there,
What are you looking for?
all the exact time.
Here, I'll give you-
6:47.
6:47.
Yep.
I'll sign those later. Alright, the meeting will come back to order. Did you wanna do roll call at this point, or not? Okay. Everyone's here.
We're all here.
Yeah, so, on the same subject, so, I don't know if there's further discussion. The one thing that hit me somewhat when I was out in the hallway was, the part of the discussion I sometimes have at my office is, I expect my employees to do whatever's best for, in my case, A&M. And I expect decisions to be made, and people are not perfect. They don't make the best decision every single time. And yeah, we can look somewhat at track records, and which some have been, in this case, pretty good. This particular issue caused some concerns, and for I think any reasonable person, and in fact a state auditor, that it caused significant concerns. And again, for every employee here, whether they're under the personnel policy manual, or a elected official, or a department head, the expectation from taxpayers is that we make the best decisions for the county. And that, some may argue sometimes what those decisions are and what the answer to those decisions are, but the goal is to make the best decisions for the county and ultimately, which means county taxpayers. And so that hit me a little bit out in the hallway a little bit ago, and that's part of the process that I use when I'm thinking about some of my own employees sometimes. And so I'll just mention that.
Matt, with your background, I'd value your opinion on this. How would you handle this in the military?
Well, the military is obviously very strict. If it's, viewed, you are responsible for, whatever it is that you have a card or whatever inappropriate use of that card. You know, it's inappropriate use and it's pretty much cut and dried. The rebate thing, I can see where that might be, possibly somebody could inadvertently have that rebate card sent home and then use that rebate to purchase something that's personal. But Jay, did you or your wife ever intentionally use that county card or a county card for a personal purchase?
No. Unknowing, not knowing.
That's all I have.
I can think of several examples I've had in my career. As a military officer, I ended up having to discipline a soldier to the point of getting a general discharge for theft of government property. I was fortunate in the Postal Service as a postmaster. I had a rural carrier who had just made regular that was stealing rebate cards out of the mail system and taking them to a store where her daughter worked and redeeming them. And so the inspection service had me put in fake rebate cards in her mail stream, and they met her at the post office when she got back in. She had a purse full of those rebate cards. She lost her job. No questions asked. They gave her the opportunity to resign or be terminated, and she made the wise choice of resigning. But I can think of many, many instances either I've experienced or other individuals in different companies, different agencies have experienced where it involved theft, and that's what it is theft. You can't sugarcoat it. And boy, I just wish we didn't have this situation. But when I think of me as a taxpayer, I would say that would go beyond disappointment. I'd be really ticked because that's our tax dollars. And I feel we up here have to make a tough decision. We have to go with that information we have, which was provided by the state. And we have to make a decision, good, bad, or ugly, however it is, however it turns out. But the bottom line is, I, in my personal opinion, feel it was intentional. It was theft, a misappropriation of county funds, which affects every taxpayer in our county. I know it sounds harsh, but that's my feelings on this. I can't sugarcoat it. And when you talk about due process, like say if Jay was subject to the employees manual, the first step in corrective action can be included in termination, depending on the severity of the problem. And that's something that is in the employee handbook, that if he was subject to that, depending on what the offense was, would determine the outcome. And in some cases, the minimum is termination, depending on the severity of the violation. In a lot of companies, it's a safety issue. A lot of companies take safety very seriously, and a lot of times, the first corrective action in a safety violation is termination. So, I mean, that's depending on the company, the agency, their policies, but, to me, it just looks like intent.
So Mike, what you're saying is that, you don't believe what Jay is saying, that he didn't realize that he was using that?
I don't buy it. He's a
That's fine, that's your
responsible
opinion.
individual.
That's your opinion, I'm just clarifying it.
You ask him, so he's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's all right.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, there is. I, would rather be a lot other places tonight than where I'm at, I'll tell you what. And I didn't put myself up here to do this, to make these decisions. And however we handle this sets a precedence. And whatever you guys wanna set as a precedence, I guess that's what it'll be. And I guess if, it's okay to mishandle funds and not be able to handle it, but we can do $1 million, but we can't handle rebate cards, that concerns me quite a bit. And I don't wanna set the wrong precedence. We have a lot of employees. We have 250 employees, right?
Any other discussion? Entertain a motion.
I move that we terminate Jay Steinley for misappropriation of funds.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second. Any other discussion?
Have we thought about, rather than termination, maybe a disciplinary action?
That's not the motion.
Well, I think,
What, I just asked a question, Mike.
We're gonna
I'm just
vote
saying
on this
that's
and then
not
we
the
can work
motion.
on that.
This is discussion, and we can do that.
it's discussion time, and so if that's an option or a thought, then you should vote no on the motion.
Yeah.
When the motion's on the floor, we can discuss this right now.
We can
Right.
just do that.
This is discussion time right now.
So, the
What's that?
floor is yours, do you have?
No, I was just throwing that out, if we give it any consideration to that. It's open for discussion. I don't know that, I've asked twice whether or not Mr. Steinley or Jay knew that he was intentionally using those cards, and both times he told me no, that he didn't know. I've never known Jay to be dishonest. And that's my own personal opinion. And I think you're right, Russ, we don't wanna set a precedence. But I think the biggest thing that Jay is guilty of is his bookkeeping. And that's concerning also. Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but, is it an offense that is enough to dismiss him?
Well, I think he's had the option to resign. We could give that option one more time.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Well, other than the fact that. Other than the fact that not one of us can hire a department head and not one of us can fire a department head. It's gonna take all 5 of us to do that. Having said that, Mr. Harris is his supervisor, and I would ask Mark what your recommendation would be as his supervisor.
Well, recommendation, meaning, I guess I seconded the motion, so I guess that means that my intention would be to vote to terminate him. But, yeah, I think, I I don't look forward to the idea of hiring a new person. We certainly have some people that are there now. We have one that's working as an interim, that's in charge at least while he's been gone from this surgery that he's had. And, that's been going on for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I don't like any of that. I don't like the idea of having to hire someone else. That's always difficult, and, exactly who or what type of applicants we might get, I don't know. But, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but I know sometimes it has to be done, so.
Jay, I'm gonna ask you personally, would you like to come up here and resign, or do you wanna just wait it out?
You guys have a motion on the floor, right?
You can beat the motion.
But this is a discussion with the board, I think.
Well, he knows his options, I think, and, all right, so we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll.
You read the
Oh.
motion back before we vote on this?
Terminate J for the misappropriation of funds.
That's the motion, and so, if you think it any, Ken mentioned something that would be something lesser, then you need to be voting no on this motion.
No, and
if you think it should be less.
I agree with that. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Right,
I'm just throwing that out as part of the discussion.
right. All right, call the roll.
Blue,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Meyer,
No,
Reisig,
Yes.
All right, the motion's carried. And we wish Jay the best. And, but that's what I think the majority of us felt, so. All right, we're gonna move on to the next item. It's time to keep going. So the next item is an executive closed session to finalize union contract negotiation for Scotts Bluff County Detention Center. And, with that, with Jason's help, my motion is, I move pursuant to section 84-1410 of the reissue of the revised statutes known as the Nebraska Public Meetings Law, that the board hold a closed session with Jason Ocean, Lisa Rhine. Is the sheriff here, or
No.
Troy, are you gonna be involved?
I don't think we need,
Okay,
no, I think I
so
got
just
it.
Jason and Lisa and the board related to union contract negotiations for the Scotts Bluff County Detention Center. I further move that this closed session is clearly necessary to protect the public interest in maintaining the confidentiality of negotiation strategies, and that closed sessions with respect to collective bargaining are specifically authorized by the Nebraska Public Meetings Law in section 84-1410 1A. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to go into executive session. We're gonna do one motion and then come back. Jason, is that the way you wanna do it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Call the roll.
Harris,
Yes?
Meyer,
yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
All right, we'll go back here.
We don't get paid enough for these. That's why the handrail here, Mark.
Yeah, I should use it.
I use them a lot.
I tell you what, I use them a lot.
I'm not ashamed to use them.
I even went to a track.
Okay, well, you do a good job of that.
Meeting will come back into regular session. It's 7:31. We did get information on the detention center pay scale, and my motion is to adopt the new Appendix A pay scale for the detention center employees, along with the written information that changes their contracts slightly. And there's copies available if you need to see it. on that.
Where's mine?
Lisa's got it.
Okay.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the contract information for detention center. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll.
Harris,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
That's it.
Reisig,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Parsley.
Yes.
All right, so we'll go to the next item, which is another executive session. So this is an executive closed session regarding strategy session update on status of union discussions for the Scotts Bluff County Communications Center. And again, I'm reading from a motion that was that Jason helped prepare for me. So I move pursuant to section 84-1410 of the reissue of the revised statutes known as the Nebraska Public Meetings Law, that the board hold a closed session with Jason Ocean, Lisa Ryan. Troy, do you need to be involved with this one? No, sir. Okay. Related to the union contract negotiations for the Scotts Bluff County Communications Center. I further move that this closed session is clearly necessary to protect the public interest in maintaining the confidentiality of negotiation strategies, and that closed sessions with respect to collection bargaining are specifically authorized by Nebraska Public Meetings Law in section 84-1410 1A. So that's my motion.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. You wanna call the roll?
Harris,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Parsley,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Reisig.
Yes, I do that.
All right, we're going to executive
Is
session.
this gonna be long?
No, I think this will be shorter. 7:34.
We'll be back about 9. Would that work for you?
That's what I fully expected.
You really did a number on that, Mark.
Yeah, you can have mine.
You did a number on that.
I just tell. Yeah, really.
Just shove my chair out of your way, man.
Long day tomorrow. I got about 3 different,
What do you do tomorrow?
I gotta go to Valley in the morning, take care of my troops down there.
Where?
Valley ambulance, I go down once a week and check them out.
Are you ready, Miss Kelly?
I am ready.
So we're back in regular session. The time is 7:47. So we did discuss this item. We were brought up to date on new information provided by Lisa primarily, and but there was no votes taken and no action to be taken tonight.
So roll call.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Harris,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Blue,
Yes.
Parsley.
Yes.
Okay, so we're all here now, and we had no action on this
No
item.
action.
All right, meeting
So we're adjourned.
is adjourned.
Hey, you made it,
7:48.
Mike, Matt.
Yeah, you made it through the first one.
No scratches or bruises.
5.5 hours.
I know it.
Where are you going?
From the 4:30? No, you mean from the 2 o'clock.
Well, I was just gonna visit with Ken on the way out.
Ask Lisa.
Da-da-da.
I think you're not locking it. And I think she took a lot of it.
So that's,
I know, I just, I'm,
Somehow.
I know, it just makes me really sad.
city development meeting, I wrote it down and I couldn't